What would you do if you woke up one morning and realized the biggest love story in hip-hop wasn't a love story at all, but a full-blown heist movie with zero budget, zero shame, and maximum audacity? Because apparently Papoose didn't just pack a bag, he allegedly packed Remy's trust, her dignity, and a suspicious amount of community investment funds. Then sprinted straight into the Montana mountains with none other than Claressa Shields. Yes, the same Claressa who punches harder than half the industry's excuses. So now the internet is asking the question nobody ever thought they'd ask. Did Papoose just pull off the most chaotic relationship plot twist of the decade? Or did he simply unlock his villain arc like he's auditioning for a Bravo crossover special? Sources, mostly chaotic and extremely online, are screaming that the couple didn't just disappear. They allegedly got married in a midnight ceremony lit only by the glow of scandal, and the alleged message Claressa dropped afterward, "Remy Mo, we made a fool out of you," if that didn't just shake your soul like a malfunctioning subway train. Trust me, you're not ready for what happens next. Everything about this scandal feels like the universe is playing a prank on the entire hip-hop community. And honestly, nobody knows where to look anymore. The streets are confused, the blogs are dizzy, and even the people who pretend they don't care are secretly refreshing their timelines every 5 minutes. Because when a man like Papoose, the same man who once built his entire brand on loyalty, patience, and supportive husband energy, suddenly disappears into a snowy mountain lodge with Claressa Shields, carrying what the internet claims is misplaced investment money, people are going to lose their minds. And lose their minds they did. This wasn't just trending. This was a digital earthquake. This was the kind of scandal that made the algorithm stop and say, "Hold on, run that back." The first sign that something was off came when Remy Ma showed up to a scheduled appearance alone, looking like she was holding a secret that was heavier than a subway train. Cameras flashed, reporters pushed, and before they could even shout a question, Remy threw out a cold, controlled smile that sent a chill through the air. She didn't have to say a word. The silence alone exposed the truth. Something catastrophic had gone down behind the scenes. People started whispering. Something about an argument. Something about a missing bag. Something about Remy demanding answers, and Papoose giving none. And then, just like that, he vanished like a magician on a bender. Within hours, social media detectives sprang into action. They tracked flight logs, private jet sightings, blurry airport photos, and even a security camera clip of someone who kind of looked like Papoose if you squint hard enough. And the moment those clues lined up, the internet declared its verdict. Papoose allegedly dipped with a bag that didn't belong to him and ran straight into the arms of Claressa Shields. The same Claressa famed for her champion belts, her knockout power, and apparently her ability to steal husbands like she's collecting trophies. But the real twist wasn't the disappearance, it was the alleged marriage. A lodge worker came forward claiming they saw the two walking in like they were storing in their own scandal-filled fairy tale. There were whispers of a makeshift ceremony, a piece of ribbon tied to a chair, and Claressa wearing a gold band that sparkled like it was trying to confess something. And when that ring caught the light on her livestream, the internet went from confused to chaotic in under 30 seconds. Comments flew so fast that the app practically crashed. People begged for answers. They begged for context. They begged for an explanation that didn't make them question every relationship they ever believed in. And then, right when Claressa realized the ring was visible, she ended the stream with a smirk that felt like a confession. According to viewers, she whispered a line right before the screen went black, a line that echoed through the internet like a gunshot. "Remy, we made a fool out of you." That sentence alone sparked enough drama to power an entire season of any reality show on television. Fans were screaming. Critics were writing think pieces. Even celebrities who mind their business were suddenly liking shady tweets. The world was watching a real-time implosion, and nobody dared blink. Meanwhile, reports started surfacing that the money Papoose allegedly fled with wasn't just any money, it was money people believed was meant to support one of Remy's upcoming projects. Something about a fund, a campaign, a series of investments that were supposed to help Remy expand her brand. And the moment people heard that, the tone shifted. This wasn't just cheating. This wasn't just betrayal. This wasn't just romance turned into a circus. This was a potential financial scandal that ran deep. The kind of scandal that starts trending on news networks long before anyone even confirms the facts. Anonymous insiders suddenly came crawling out of every social media corner. One claimed Papoose had been planning this disappearance for weeks. Another said Claressa had been dropping hints for months. A third source, who clearly enjoyed the attention, said the two had been communicating through burner phones, using code names like they were part of some low-budget spy operation. It was the type of rumor that was ridiculous enough to be fake, but dramatic enough that the internet wanted to believe it anyway. People started pulling up old clips, old interviews, old body language analysis videos. One fan posted a breakdown video of Papoose blinking too much during a red carpet interview and captioned it, "This man was hiding a whole criminal arc." Another posted a freeze frame of Claressa looking at Papoose during a charity event years ago and wrote, "Look at her eyes. She wanted him back then too." It was nonsense. It was unhinged. It was absolutely entertaining. And it didn't matter whether any of it was true, it mattered that it was fueling the storyline. By midday, even the gossip pages that usually pretend to have morals jumped into the mess. They posted charts, maps, screenshots, alleged receipts, and a random photo of Montana that had nothing to do with anything but made the story seem more cinematic. People began forming theories. Some said Claressa manipulated Papoose. Others said Papoose masterminded everything. A third group insisted Remy started the downfall herself with her past controversies. But everyone agreed on one thing: nobody had expected this plot twist. Then, out of nowhere came the alleged voicemail leak. A deep voice, sounding suspiciously like Papoose, saying, "Don't worry, bro. She'll never catch on. Everything's handled." People lost their minds. They acted like the voicemail was the final piece to a puzzle that had been missing since 2016, even though the audio was unverified. Poorly recorded and suspiciously edited, the internet treated it like holy scripture. It circulated faster than half the news stories that actually matter. Remy's fans flooded her comments with messages of support, heartbreak, and anger. Claressa's fans defended her, calling her a queen for choosing her happiness. Papoose's fans tried so hard to find excuses that they ended up confusing themselves. And while the fan bases battled it out online like rival armies, the main characters stayed silent. No interviews, no statements, no clarifications. Just silence so loud it felt like the world was being prepared for impact. Rumors kept building. Claressa allegedly booked the entire lodge for several days, shutting out all outsiders. Papoose allegedly bought a new phone under a fake name. Someone claimed Remy was already talking to lawyers. Someone else claimed the lodge had security cameras that would change everything. The entire situation was spiraling so fast that people didn't even care about the truth anymore. They just wanted the next twist, the next leak, the next line that would make them gasp and hit replay, and right when the internet thought things couldn't get any more dramatic. A final anonymous source claimed that the ceremony in the lodge wasn't symbolic. It was legally binding. According to them, there was a witness, a signature, and paperwork filed under a jurisdiction most people didn't even know existed. It was the kind of claim that sounded both impossible and inevitable, exactly the kind of fuel the scandal needed to keep burning. As the dust temporarily settled, one thing became clear: this wasn't just a cheating scandal. This wasn't just money gone missing. This wasn't just a messy love triangle. This was a collapsing empire, a financial mystery, a runaway couple, and a woman in New York preparing for a war nobody saw coming, and just when the world caught its breath. The next twist was already on its way, and just when the world caught its breath, the next twist was already on its way. Because while fans were arguing and gossip pages were fighting for clicks, a new piece of evidence hit the internet like a meteor. An alleged financial report leaked from an anonymous email account named Trustable No, showing a suspicious transaction labeled under Papoose's initials. It wasn't an official document. It wasn't verified. But in the world of public scandal, nobody cares about verification. They care about drama. They care about screenshots. They care about the thrill of believing something wild. And this report was wild enough to send the entire internet into cardiac arrest. The document claimed that a large sum of money originally earmarked for Remy's brand expansion was quietly redirected to an account linked to Claressa's training facility. Fans didn't even need confirmation. They declared it gospel. They built theories around it like they were constructing a new religion. Subinevrione was a financial expert. People who can't even manage their own credit scores were explaining embezzlement routes and asset laundering patterns. TikTok went full CSI mode. Content creators pulled out whiteboards, markers, highlighters, and red string like they were exposing a presidential scandal. One even went viral for screaming, "I knew it. I knew the training facility was a front for something chaotic." The video got millions of views in hours. Because when a scandal hits this big, facts don't trend, energy does. And the energy was electric. Meanwhile, another witness emerged online, claiming they worked at the lodge and saw Papoose pacing back and forth with a folder labeled Plan B. This person didn't show their face, didn't show any proof, didn't even have a consistent story. But the internet embraced them like they were a Nobel Peace Prize nominee. Every platform reposted the clip. Comment sections turned into heated courtrooms. People debated timelines, motives, and emotional damage like they were being graded for it, then, as if things weren't messy enough. A blurry video surfaced showing a couple who looked suspiciously like Papoose and Claressa walking into a courthouse in a small Montana town. The footage was shaky, the lighting was terrible, and the angle was questionable, but that didn't stop social media from turning it into a breaking news special. Bloggers zoomed in, paused frames, enhanced pixels, and built entire narratives around the way Papoose's alleged left shoulder slumped like a man who knew he messed up. Nobody questioned the logic. They ate it up. But the real explosion happened when another alleged audio clip leaked, this one supposedly featuring Claressa laughing with a friend. The friend asked, "What about Remy?" And the voice that sounded like Claressa replied, "Remy should have seen the signs. I didn't steal anything. Opportunities just fall into my hands." It was the kind of line that made the internet forget how to breathe. People reposted it with captions like, "Oh, she's bold. And this is villain-era energy." The clip spread like wildfire. Reporters tried to trace its origin. They failed. But by then, it didn't matter. The damage was done. Claressa became the internet's newest supervillain. Remy's silence only made everything worse. Every hour she said nothing, the public imagined 10 new storylines. Fans accused her of plotting a comeback. Haters accused her of hiding embarrassment. Neutral spectators just enjoyed the chaos like it was premium entertainment. At this point, even the news networks that usually ignore celebrity drama started circling. Rumors began that two major networks were preparing segments on the situation, framing it as a financial and emotional crisis within a high-profile household. That's when you know a scandal has gone nuclear, when serious journalists start pretending they're the moral police. Meanwhile, some people started claiming that the alleged lodge wedding wasn't a spontaneous decision, it was pre-planned. One source insisted they overheard Papoose asking a staff member, "Is the officiant still coming?" Another claimed Claressa brought her own bouquet made of money notes. The stories made zero sense, but the internet didn't care. They wanted spectacle. And spectacle they received. The hysteria reached a new level when fans discovered that Claressa had recently posted a cryptic caption about stepping into a new chapter. It was probably harmless. It was probably not even related. But once people connected it to the lodge situation, they treated it like a confession. They dug through her old posts, looking for hints, codes, symbols, hidden meanings, anything that could confirm the drama. It was digital archaeology powered by pure delusion. And just when the world thought the leak spree was done, a supposed screenshot of a text conversation emerged online. It allegedly showed Papoose telling a friend, "This was the only way out." The screenshot was badly cropped, the fonts didn't match, and the colors looked like they were edited by someone using outdated software. But the internet still turned it into a trending topic. People analyzed punctuation. They analyzed typing speed. They analyzed the shade of gray. They acted like forensic linguists trying to solve a national crisis, all while Remy continued her silence tour. The silence became its own storyline. Every blogger kept asking the same question: why hasn't she spoken? Some speculated she was preparing a legal case. Others said she was gathering evidence. A few suggested she was planning a press conference so dramatic it would overshadow every scandal in entertainment history. The longer she stayed quiet, the more people assumed she had something massive to reveal. Then, a news storm hit. A rumor spread that federal investigators were reviewing the alleged financial discrepancies tied to the missing funds. People immediately assumed arrests were coming, even though none of the information was verified. But this is how social media works. Someone whispers investigation, and suddenly people are predicting jail time. Some are convinced Papoose was hiding in the mountains not because of love, but because he was avoiding questions. Others claimed Claressa's training facility was about to get raided. TikTok investigators practically foamed at the mouth with excitement. This chaos triggered another wave of supposedly leaked documents, this time showing questionable charges under Papoose's name: private flights, lodge fees, luxury items, and something labeled celebration package. Nobody knew what that meant, but speculation turned it into a full-blown narrative. One creator said it was code for secret ceremony arrangements. Another claimed it included champagne, custom rings, and a symbolic unity candle shaped like a boxing glove. Again, zero proof. Maximum Entertainment.blogs ran headlines like, "Did Papoose just fund his own escape story?" And Claressa and Pap, Love, Lies, and Lodge Nights, a famous gossip YouTuber, even posted a 45-minute breakdown with dramatic music, reenactments, and fake interviews. It got millions of views in a day, and through all this, the biggest unanswered question remained: why would Papoose risk everything? Why would he throw away years of loyalty branding, marriage, reputation, and community respect? What did Claressa offer that was worth this level of chaos? Some said it was love. Some said it was adrenaline. Some said it was the thrill of escaping the life he felt trapped in. But the most popular theory sweeping the internet was that Papoose was chasing a new identity, one where he wasn't tied to Remy's shadow. A life where he got to be the main character instead of the supporting role. A life where scandal made him relevant again, and just when people started choosing sides. The next twist landed with perfect timing, a twist so explosive it made the previous leaks look like warm-ups. And suddenly, everything that was supposed to be a private family misunderstanding has turned into a full-blown nationwide scandal that refuses to die quietly. Because the moment the internet realized that Papoose wasn't just missing, he was allegedly living his best scare husband life with Claressa Shields, the entire country tapped in like it was the season finale of a messy telenovela written by someone who hates Remy Ma personally. And the wildest this video? Every hour brings a new layer of dirt that somehow makes the last layer look innocent. By Monday morning, the state attorney's office was reportedly in chaos because 3 separate departments claimed they were not responsible for the file marked Papoose, Remy, Claressa scandal, emergency review, people running around like they were trying to escape a gas leak, clerks calling in sick, investigators claiming they need paid trauma leave. Meanwhile, the Treasury Department jumped in because apparently the missing money, the same alleged cash Papoose vanished with, might actually be tied to a fraudulent grant program that someone greenlit with fake signatures and mismatched dates. And who signed off on it? Nobody knows, but somehow the paperwork magically appeared on Remy's kitchen counter in a manila envelope next to a half-eaten plate of lasagna. You cannot make this stuff up. Then TMZ, the Shade Room, baller alert. All of them started dropping exclusive updates that weren't even updates, just vibes. speculation, and screenshots from 2017 that had nothing to do with anything. But that didn't stop people from believing every word. The memes got crazier. One meme had Claressa wearing a wedding dress made out of dollar bills. Another had Papoose handing Remy a goodbye note that said, "Thanks for the memories, but Claressa's footwork is better." And Remy? She couldn't even log into Instagram without seeing a million edits of her crying in black and white with Drake lyrics floating across the screen. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get worse, it did. A security guard from the Detroit boxing gym where Claressa trains anonymously emailed a blogger claiming he saw a man with a fitted hat and suspicious energy sneaking in through a side door. After hours, the guard described him as short, confident, wearing Timbs. Looking like he had too much on his mind, the blogger immediately published the story with the headline, "Papoose reportedly hiding inside gym like it's WITSEC FBI." Confused and alarmed, and suddenly the internet decided this was absolute truth. People pulled up satellite images. Reddit threads popped up like mushrooms after rain. One dude claimed he tracked Papoose's aura through vibrational analysis. Another said he hacked into the gym lights and detected a masculine presence with unresolved emotional tension. But the real chaos came from the financial side. Because once investigators started pulling receipts, literally receipts they allegedly discovered. Flights to Miami, Vegas, and Cancun booked under variations of Papoose's name. And who was on the companion ticket? Claressa Shields. But not just her. Sometimes her cousin. Sometimes her trainer. Sometimes her friend's friend who apparently just needed a vacation and decided to tag along. And the payment method? A mysterious prepaid card loaded with the exact amount of money that vanished from Remy's accounts. The card was registered to a fake address that doesn't exist on Google Maps, unless you zoom in all the way, and then it suddenly becomes a liquor store. And then came the alleged marriage certificate, the one that dropped like a nuclear bomb. A document leaked by an anonymous courthouse employee who, ironically, spelled marriage wrong 3 times, listed Papoose and Claressa Shields as legally bound in what appears to be the fastest wedding since Britney Spears. 55-hour situation in Vegas. People analyzed it like FBI agents decoding alien messages. Why does the signature look like it was written in a moving car? Why does Claressa's last name appear twice? Why does the witness signature look suspiciously like someone traced it using a cereal box? The internet didn't care. They stamped it as fact. And the moment this so-called certificate dropped, some fans took it upon themselves to go full detective. They dug into old interviews, analyzing eye movements, lip twitches, micro-expressions like they were auditioning for Criminal Minds. In one interview, Claressa blinked twice before answering a question about marriage. People turned that into a whole conspiracy. Double blink means hidden commitment. Another clip showed Papoose scratching his forehead while talking about loyalty. Reddit said that meant internal conflict about a secret relationship. People went insane with theories, no breaks, but the backlash didn't stop with fans. Politicians got involved because apparently this scandal has become a national distraction harming productivity. A senator who absolutely should be focused on actual issues held a press conference asking why the FBI wasn't taking appropriate action against celebrity scam marriages. Journalists laughed at first, but then he pulled out a chart labeled the Papoose Pyramid Scheme. The chart made no sense. There were arrows pointing at clouds. One circle labeled Remy's tears connected to a box labeled public sympathy, but the internet treated it like gospel. Meanwhile, Remy's team attempted damage control that only made everything worse. They released a statement saying, Remy Ma is focusing on her healing journey and cannot address unverified claims at this time, but the internet twisted that into, she knows the marriage is real, but can't handle it emotionally. Another fake insider claimed Remy threw Papoose's sneakers out the window and locked his studio equipment in a storage unit. Someone else said she hired a private investigator who specializes in catching cheating spouses who wear hats. But the biggest, blow came when a so-called financial forensic specialist appeared on a live stream claiming he analyzed the pattern of purchases from the prepaid card. According to him, the spending spree followed a distinct pattern: hotel, jewelry, seafood, hotel, Sephora, hotel, boxing gloves, hotel. And he concluded the pattern reflected the emotional rhythm of a man who believes he found new love. The chat exploded. People sent super chats like they were tipping a psychic. Read Claressa's or a next. Do Remy's bank statements show heartbreak? The man made $7,000 in an hour off pure nonsense. Then, social media influencers took over. One TikToker reenacted the entire scandal using puppets made out of socks. Another did a dramatic slow-motion monologue with rain effects. Someone else created a dance challenge called the Flea with the Money Shuffle, featuring moves like packing a suitcase suspiciously and blocking your wife's calls. The challenge went viral globally. Even people who had no idea who Papoose was started posting videos. And then, like a plot twist written by a bored screenwriter, a rumor spread that Papoose and Claressa were planning a reality show, love, boxing, and bank transfers, allegedly already pitched to 3 networks, promising the raw truth behind their legendary escape. Of course, it was probably fake, but the public didn't care. They ate it up like cinema. And now, with public pressure rising, political leaders stumbling over themselves to comment, the financial fraud investigation expanding, and social media spinning like a carnival ride built by someone without a license. Everyone wants to know the same thing. Is Papoose actually facing charges? Is Claressa Shields involved in financial wrongdoing? Or is she just guilty of making Remy Ma look like she got played on national TV? Are prosecutors closing in? Or are they too busy arguing with Reddit detectives who think they cracked the case using lunar cycles? Because leaked sources, the same unnamed insiders who have been wrong 90% of the time, but somehow always go viral, now claim a grand jury is reviewing evidence, including security footage allegedly showing Papoose withdrawing stacks of cash while wearing sunglasses indoors. According to one source, the sunglasses made him look suspicious, so we're reviewing it as a potential sign of guilt. Another said investigators are trying to verify whether the marriage certificate is real, fake, or a printout someone designed using Microsoft Paint. Lawyers have begun circling like vultures. Celebrities are weighing in for attention. Journalists are fighting for interviews. Fans are digging deeper. And Remy Ma? She's reportedly considering a tell-all, a raw, unfiltered, unhinged documentary called The Woman Who Refused to Stay Played. Netflix allegedly wants it. Hulu allegedly wants it. Even Tubi wants it, and Tubi always wants everything. And as the dust rises, not settles, one thing has become painfully clear. This scandal isn't going away. It isn't slowing down. It isn't cooling off. It keeps mutating like it has a personal grudge against Remy, the law, common sense, and peace itself. The only question left, the only question anyone can ask now, is how far this fallout will go. How many more people will get dragged into the wildfire? Will Papoose surface? Will Claressa speak? Will Remy finally snap? And more importantly, what happens when the authorities make their next move? And honestly, at this point, you have to ask yourself, is this even real life anymore? Or are we all trapped inside the longest, messiest, most disrespectfully chaotic plot twist ever written? Because if Papoose really did flee with the money, marry Claressa Shields, and leave Remy Ma looking like she just got blindsided in 4K, then this is officially the scandal of the decade. But you already know the internet never sleeps, never forgets, and never lets anything die peacefully. So trust me, the next update is coming. And it's going to be even crazier than everything we've already exposed. But before you disappear into the comments to argue, fight, theorize, or pretend you're part of the investigation team, you already know what time it is. If you want more messy breakdowns, more leaked scandals, more truth-telling that nobody asked for but everybody needs, then go ahead and hit that like button like you're shutting down a scammer's bank account. Smash that subscribe button before Papoose tries to run off with it too. And drop your theories below because I need to know, do you think this marriage is real? Do you think Remy's pulling up with receipts? Or is this just the beginning of the biggest downfall reality TV never got to broadcast? Stay tuned. Stay tuned.